They say when elephants fight, it is the grass that suffers. But what if the elephant is the one meant to protect the grass? For decades, Africa has faced wars, colonization, apartheid, and injustices. But when the continent cried out for help, the United Nations often looked away or acted too late. Today, we uncover a hard truth. Africa has no permanent voice in the United Nations Security Council, and the cost has been high: lives lost, justice delayed, and a future denied. Before we dive into this, make sure to subscribe to the channel if you believe in justice and truth, and like this video so more people hear what they don't show on TV. Comment your thoughts below. For years, millions of black South Africans lived under a brutal system of racial segregation. The world saw the image. They heard Mandela's voice, but what did the United Nations do? Nothing serious. Not for decades. No real sanctions, no direct action, just words. Now contrast that with Zimbabwe, where President Robert Mugabe launched a controversial land reform, taking back land from white farmers, some of it violently and not always fairly. This time, the United Nations and Western powers reacted quickly. Sanctions were imposed. Robert Mugabe became a villain overnight. And now, in 2025, with Donald Trump once again in office, his administration took aggressive diplomatic actions against South Africa, accusing the government of land confiscation, despite the country's clear denial and lack of evidence. This is not to defend unfair land grabs, but rather to highlight the double standard. Why was the world so patient with injustice and so impatient with a mass effort to correct historical wrongs? When black lives were being stolen and silenced for generations, there was silence. But when white property was allegedly at risk, rough action. As an African proverb says, the drums sound loudest when played for the powerful. Let's go back to the 1994 Rwanda. In just 100 days, nearly 1 million people were killed in a genocide. And the United Nations, they withdrew most peacekeepers and left civilians to die. Kofi Annan, who was then head of United Nations peacekeeping, later admitted the failure.
The international community could not muster the resources or the will to come to the aid of the Rwandese people as quickly as we would have. And as the General Dallaire said, at the critical time, if he had had 5,000 soldiers, one reinforced brigade, he could have made a lot of difference.
In Democratic Republic of Congo, the world's deadliest conflict since World War II raged on. Militias, rape used as a weapon, millions displaced. The United Nations has been present for years, but with little impact. And then we have Libya. The United Nations authorized NATO to bomb Gaddafi's forces. The country collapsed. Today, Libya is a failed state with the open-air slave market. When the spider webs unite, they can tie up a lion. But Africa's webs have been weakened because it's been excluded from the decisions.
We are supposed to be free and independent, Mr. Ban Ki-moon. Supposed to be free, the 54 countries. We come to the United Nations, it's ceremonial. Every year, September, we are there. We pay lots of money to go there. And to the General Assembly, we make speeches, we go back home, year in, year out. But the bosses in the Security Council say, you shall never have the powers that we have as permanent members. And we have asked and asked and asked.
Here is the heart of the problem. The United Nations Security Council makes decisions about war, peace, sanctions, and interventions. It has 5 permanent members: the United States of America, the United Kingdom, France, China, and Russia. No African country. Africa, a continent of 54 nations, home to over 1.4 billion people, is treated like a subject, not a partner. When Africa is on the agenda, decisions are made without Africans' voice in the room. And that's why we see these double standards. If an African country had permanent power with veto rights, would the world have waited during Rwanda? Would Congo be ignored? Would Libya be destroyed? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. A seat at the table won't solve everything, but it would change the conversation. As Mandela once said, it always seems impossible until it's done. The UN was created to protect peace and dignity, but peace cannot be real when an entire continent is treated as less important. It's time to reform the United Nations Security Council. Not tomorrow, not when it's convenient, now. If you believe Africa deserves a voice, subscribe, share this video, and let your voice be heard, because silence helps no one, and history is watching.